just like the dozen other people she'd approached that day.
"No matter," she whispered. "I'll find something. Just you wait and see."
Clara's head lolled, and Mercy shifted the infant again. Not quite 2 years old, the child didn't weigh much more than Twiggy's newborn babe. Even so, after carrying the girl for blocks, Mercy's arms burned from the burden. Through the foggy mist hovering in the narrow street, she glimpsed the Shoreditch dispensary. Like the surrounding businesses, it leaned outward and was propped up by beams to the building across the street. The beams were almost like canes, meant to keep the aged, tottering structures from collapsing into the filth below. Between high windows hung strings of soggy garments, so threadbare and grey they resembled the rags Twiggy sorted at the factory. Their soaking from the recent rain would wash away the grime for a moment, but never for long. In this part of London the filth was as constant a companion as the rats.
"Almost there, dear heart."
If only she'd known how sick the girl was, she would have brought her earlier. At least in the late afternoon the streets weren't as crowded, and at least the rain had decided to show some compassion. Upon reaching the dispensary door, Mercy fumbled at the handle, kicking her boots against the brick step, attempting to dislodge the muck. As she entered, the dark gloom of the hallway greeted her. An old man crouched in the corridor, cradling his arm. A mother sat opposite him, holding a bundle of blankets with a tiny bare foot poking through the fabric. The babe's stillness, as well as the mother's vacant gaze, told a story Mercy had heard too many times.
"Doctor!"
Mercy strode down the hallway, her footsteps squeaking and squishing with each step.
"I'm in desperate need of help."
"Wait your turn, you young cur," growled the old man. "There be others needing the doctor first."
He nodded to the mother and babe. The woman stared at the faded green wallpaper, the remnants of a time when the home had been fancy and belonged to a family of means. Such families had long since moved away and built larger homes in parts of London Mercy had only heard about but never seen. Mercy regarded the babe's unmoving outline, then faced the older man.
"The doctor may be able to save a life. Do you want 2 children dead instead of 1?
She held his angry gaze until finally he dropped his sights to the muddy footprints that caked the wood floor.
"Doctor!"
Mercy called again as she made her way to the room Dr. Bates used as his office.
"Please, I need your help. Straight away."
Seeing the door was ajar, she bumped it open with her hip. The massive desk positioned near a boarded window was cluttered with books and papers and inkpots. A lantern was lit and illuminated its dusty globe painted with delicate flowers. But Dr. Bates wasn't there. The door of the adjacent room swung open, and a young man exited, his hand swathed in bandages. He didn't spare her or the others a glance, as if they didn't exist. Mercy supposed it was easier for some people to pretend the problems weren't there. The heartache, the burdens, the needs. It was all so overwhelming at times. Clara's weight dragged at Mercy. For an instant she was tempted to slide down next to the mother with the dead babe and stare at the wallpaper too. But at a clank from the open doorway, Mercy forced herself to move, gathering the strength to fight for one more life.
"Doctor!"
She entered the room unbidden.
"Can you give a look at my little lamb?"
At the room's lone table, a young man stood in front of a basin of water where he was washing his hands. Beside the basin lay a scattering of instruments and supplies, a scalpel, small scissors, ligature thread, and needles. He'd discarded his coat over the back of a nearby chair to reveal a striped waistcoat and a finely tailored shirt, its sleeves rolled up to his elbows. His dark brown hair was tousled, likely the result of a long day of rushing from one urgent need to the next. His face was unfamiliar, not one of the usual doctors who gave of their time at the dispensary. Since Clara needed immediate attention, this man would have to do.